General Chem, it's Friday. Test Monday, test Tuesday, okay? Monday's only multiple choice. Tuesday is the short answer. So we'll take a little bit of time on both those days. I'll give you your final review on Monday for you to start looking at after the multiple choice portion of the test on Monday. You can keep on looking at it on Tuesday after the short answer portion, and then all day block day next Thursday. And then your guys' test, depending on what hour you are in my General Chem, will be the following Monday and Tuesday. Okay? So anyways, I know the last time I was not here, Lebanon, you were preparing for test number 2, and I had this video. It's going to be basically the same thing, telling you what to do, and a lot of you ignored that video, okay? This is your last chance to raise your grade a little bit, really before the final. It could be a chance for your grade to drop a little bit before the final. A number of you have fairly low test averages, so if you were to do really well on this last test, your grade could go up quite a bit. So anyways, you have the goldenrod sheet, okay? You should have it. There should be copies on the front if you don't have them. Use it to your advantage, okay? So kind of this unit, we started off with ionic covalent compounds. So what are properties of them? Like ionic, tend to dissolve in water. They conduct electricity. They have high melting boiling points, okay? Hopefully that might ring a bell. We had a lab about that. Next, we talked about electronegativities, really determining bond types. So we find the difference of our electronegativities on the back of the periodic table. Periodic table is yours on the test, front and back. So anyways, know how they are different, who shares electrons equally, who shares them unequally, who steals them, and then use the numbers less than 0.3 nonpolar, more than 1.7 ionic to predict what type of bond something will have, okay? Next, number 3, determine valence for elements themselves. So anybody that's an alkaline metal is going to have 1 dot, alkaline earth 2 dots, so on and so forth. Noble gas is 8, except for helium, which only has 2, and then count backwards. So you have a couple questions just on that. Pretty straightforward. So anyways, we spent a week on Lewis dots, structural formulas, molecular shape, that kind of stuff. If you need on Monday model kits, you are more than welcome to use them. I will have a screen up on the board that tells you the colors of each of the elements, but those are fair game on the multiple choice as well as on the short answer, okay? So really quickly, this is a breakdown of what we've done, all right? This is a breakdown of where questions are coming from. My error, objective 1 and 2 have 6 multiple choice questions combined, all right? So your test, it's right here. We've got 28 multiple choice questions, okay? I'll show you that guy. You have a question that uses that graphic right there, all right? I'm not sure which objective it's on. We got 28 multiple choice questions, all right? So 6 of them come from objective 1 and 2, okay? So what that means is go to Moodle, okay? Here's Moodle, Unit 4, go to objective 1, look at the practice questions, continue last attempt. Which type of compound normally forms between a metal and a nonmetal? That's ionic, okay? You can check it. See if you're right. Yep, green arrow or green check mark. Low melting and boiling points are characteristic of covalent. When dissolved in water, which type of compound typically conducts electricity? Ionic. You can finish the attempt, submit all and finish. Oh yeah, we got all 3. Go to the bottom, finish, review. And if you want to, you can reattempt the quiz. You should know this by now. When you do this, the next questions are probably not the same. Typically dissolves in water is characteristic of which type of compound? Ionic. When dissolved in water, which compound typically does not conduct electricity? Covalent. Very high melting and boiling points. Ionic. So every time you take these, it shuffles up the questions that you get. My test is these same questions just shuffled up, okay? So take them a couple times. If you take it once and get all 3 right, probably move on to the next one because it seems like you know those pretty well. You don't have to review that. So if we go back to this guy. So 6 on the first 2 objectives. Objective 3, which was just the Lewis dots around an atom. That's 2 questions. So as you look, objective 7 has 7 multiple choice questions. All right. 7, 1, and 2 is probably like half of the points come from those. So number 7, understand the similarities and differences between the 3 intermolecular forces, London dispersion, dipole-dipole, hydrogen bonding, all right? So if we go to 7 really quickly, let's just take a look at these. Attempt quiz now. Identify the greatest intermolecular force of attraction in each of the following molecules. Okay, so I got HCN. The first question I would ask myself, is there an H? There is an H. Is that H attached to an N, an O, or an F? Okay, so notice I have C underlined, which means C is in the middle, which means N and H are not attached, which means that is not hydrogen bonding. If an H is attached to an N, or an O, or an F, that's hydrogen bonding. We're good, okay? In this case, you would probably have to draw it out, make it. Again, you can put these together on Monday, and if it moves, it's polar. If it does not move, it's not polar. If it moves, if it's polar, that means it's dipole-dipole. If it does not move, non-polar, it means it only has London dispersion forces, okay? So notice it says identify the greatest intermolecular force. HF, do I have an H attached to an F? I do. Hydrogen bonding, no thinking about it. Move on to the next one. So this is polar, and that's hydrogen bonding. CO2 is linear, so they're going to pull oppositely, so London dispersion. In addition to hydrogen, what other atoms are most common in compounds that have hydrogen bonds? Probably nitrogen, oxygen, or fluorine, because that's what hydrogen has to be attached to, so any of these. This next one is got 4 things around it, so it's tetrahedral in shape. 3 directions are H's. 1 direction is F, which means it's not pulling equally in all directions, which means it's polar. If it's polar, dipole-dipole. Next one, hydrogen. Do I have a hydrogen attached to N, O, or F? I do. Water has hydrogen bonding. So anyways, finish attempt. We will submit all and finish. I feel good about this. Nice. Finish review, reattempt quiz. All right. What causes hydrogen bonding? What causes dipole interactions? So again, every time you do this, different questions. I would spend some time especially on 7, because number 7 has 7 of the multiple choice questions. So a quarter of the questions on multiple choice come from that objective alone. And then 8 and 9, let's look at those real quick. Relate the strength to properties. So if we have really strong intermolecular forces, we're going to have high boiling and melting points. It's not going to evaporate quickly. If you think back to the lab with the paper towels, where we were looking at evaporation rates. Vapor pressure, viscosity, we had notes on that. Just take a look at those notes. Number 9, define organic chemistry, be able to properly name and draw alkanes. Let's look at objective 9 real quick. So back to unit 4. Practice questions. What's it look like? What is the name of an alkane having 5 carbons? 5 penta, probably pentane. Give the proper name for the following 2 structural formulas. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got a pentane with a methyl. It's on the second carbon, so 2-methylpentane. So I know it's either C or D. And this one's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got an octane, and I've got 2 methyls on it. So this dimethyl, that looks like a pretty good option. All right. So again, go through here. What's the simplest alkane? That'll just be 1 carbon, so methane, but so on, so forth. Finish attempt. We're not going to get 100% because we didn't answer them all. So I am wasting your time. What I want you to do today is prepare for the multiple choice test. So get out your computers, get on Moodle, use the goldenrod sheet, prepare for the test and do well on it, okay? The questions are available to you. Really quickly, if you're going to use this weekend at all to look at the multiple choice, you're going to have this guy right here, except there's going to be 2 more columns with 2 more compounds. So how many dots does it have? What's the structural or Lewis dot? I don't care what you give me here. What's the shape? And is it polar, yes or no? So there's 16 boxes. Each box is 1 point. So 16 short answer. Objective 6 is naming. So either name or determine the formulas for covalent compounds. So if you had something like diboron tetrabromide, B2, Br4. So you might just review prefixes. So you're going to have 4 of those on the short answer. And then I think on number 9, it is just drawing alkanes, so branched alkanes. Okay. And then extra credit right here is doing some isomer stuff. Okay. So there's no isomers or extra credit. There's no aldehydes or ketones on the test. Okay. So spend some time today, spend some time this weekend, review for the multiple choice, maybe start practicing for the short answer. You might start here. Also, you have that activity that we spent a week on. I mean, just like cover it up and see what you can do. Like just see if you can do a row on your own. All right. So anyways, that is it. Enjoy your weekend. I will see you on Monday.